Awesome. Well, good morning. Thank you for coming to my tech class this Wednesday. Today we're talking about newsletters and kind of the importance, if they're still relevant, and how to set one up. And I use Command. You can use a lot of these same elements in MailChimp or anything like that. But I'm going to show you Command today. So, awesome. So let's get started. So newsletters, are they still important for small businesses? Um, the research is saying yes. So the notion that newsletters are outdated is far from the truth. Recent data indicates that this method is just growing. It's getting bigger, particularly for businesses seeking to cultivate direct communication. So it's not going away, and it's definitely kind of building more for communities and things like that. Email newsletters are thriving. They do remain a stable and effective communication channel. And just kind of a stat, so the sheer volume of email users is projected to reach 4.8 billion by 2027. So a lot of people are using email.
Is
Um,
that is that a national or international number?
I'm pretty sure that's international, like that's
Okay,
worldwide. Yeah,
it has to be, yeah.
it has to be. It cannot just be the
Yeah,
US. Um, so
I
yeah,
need
so
another
it's
cup of coffee.
definitely only growing, kind of like Google. Like it's a great way to get in touch with people. And for small businesses, email marketing offers a return investment or ROI. So it improves customer retention, authority, and boosts conversions and sales. So I think it's a good idea. And since it is going to be so important, let's talk about how they work, kind of what they should look like. And then we're going to talk about how we do it.
Okay.
Um, so delivery method, kind of just a little comparison here. So is there still a place for a paper newsletter? I think yes, it depends on your audience. If they're used to getting newsletters and things like that, um, then there is a space for it. But just a few things, it is less cost effective just because you are paying for printing and you're paying for mailing and all of that kind of stuff. And it doesn't align with more modern consumers' expectations. So modern consumers are definitely looking for, like, if I get a newsletter from Old Navy or something and they're saying 20% off, I want to be able to click on it and start shopping, right? You can't do that with a printed catalog or printed newsletter. So just things like that will kind of create a discord, but also you have to, if your audience is looking for, they're used to going online and using newspapers to find things and things like that. So it just depends on your audience. It can make you stand out and have a higher chance of people reading it just because, oh, I got something that's not just a white envelope in the mail, and they might be more likely to open it. Email is obviously going to be more cost effective and can more effectively target based off of interest and area. So, hey, I want to email to these people who I know live in Worthington. You can do that with paper. You can also do that with emails. And then you can go on interest too. So let's say a lot of your clients, Eileen, like dogs, because I know you have two dogs. So you can talk about, hey, this is a good groomer that just opened up in Westerville. And then you're talking to all of these people who you know have dogs, and not just the ones that live in your area. So just things like that kind of offers more targeted marketing that way.
Mhm.
And then also you have that offers speed and convenience of digital communication. So if someone has a question, you can have a link to your email and say, hey, just email me if you have questions. They can click on that. There's no really resistance there, and then they're going to send you an email. So um, there's a lot of benefit to using email newsletters. Let's talk about some creative insights. So research shows that emails with 20 lines of text and about 200 words have the best open rate. Now that kind of sounds pretty small. I mean, 200 words is going to be maybe half a page, on like a letter page of a Word document. So just kind of thinking about how are you going to pack value into a smaller kind of portion. Um, One thing to keep in mind though is that is dependent on how often you plan on sending out this newsletter. So if it's going to be weekly, yes, keep it that 200 to 300 words. If you're going to do monthly, you could probably stretch it to 400 to 600 words. And then that quarterly is when you get to the 700 to 1,000 words. Just kind of depending on how often you want to reach out to them is kind of going to be tied to the size of your newsletter.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes
There
sense.
is some, and let me know if I'm going too fast if you have questions.
No, but you've got a typo there. it says 10,000 words.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, that's 1,000.
I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
The 10,000 words. I don't think anybody in an email chain is going to read 10,000 words, so
No,
just
no.
1,000. Um, Another thing too is you want to find the balance of staying top of mind without creating that subscriber fatigue. Have you had that before? I know I've had that on Instagram where I find this great account and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so cool and they post like all the time. But then they're the only thing in my feed, they're the only thing in my inbox, and I just get sick of them and I unsubscribe. So we
Yeah.
want to avoid that for sure. The general recommendation, there's no one size fits all. It's different across industries, it's different across personalities, all that kind of stuff. It is recommended to do no more than 2 times a week and at least once a month. So that's kind of the range that you can decide on how often you want to be communicating within just for best results. And you can always start doing once a week and then watch your open and unsubscribing rate. If it's happening a lot, where they're unsubscribing, maybe kick it down to 2 weeks. Or if they're really opening it every day, and it's staying, or as often as you send it and you're seeing a really good open rate, then just keep it as it is. That sounds like it's going well. So just kind of looking at those metrics as you kind of build it out and send it out and all of that. Any questions about this besides the 1,000 over 10?
No, makes sense.
Perfect. Awesome. And then let's talk a little bit about content. So what needs to be in your newsletter to make sure it's well received? And how can you add value and have it resonate with the audience? So there's kind of 3 content buckets, as you say, or for example. So you want to be informative, you want to be engaging, and you also want to be promotional. And informative, so that's adding valuable information and tips related to your expertise. So you're going to do different things about real estate. So how to stage for an open house, how to choose good colors that will make your house list well, like paint colors and things like that. So real estate expertise will definitely need to be a portion of this. You want it to be engaging, so community highlights, behind the scenes, local news, personal stories that pertain to business or a lesson. And you can always do polls and quizzes as well. So just kind of keeping it engaging and fun and local. And the next, so the promotional goal is kind of you can add a home evaluation for free or auction off tickets to a local event. Or offer a free buyer's consult. So just kind of things like that. So like enter below to win a free home evaluation with me. And then that's kind of a nice, they see that as saving money. They see that as value adding monetarily. So that's a great thing to have in there as well. And talking about kind of the goals of each type, just to help narrow down, okay, would this be informative or this is going to be engaging? So informative, the goal is to make them feel informed about the community or the industry. They want to feel like they've learned something and they're going to take that and help them make a decision later on. Engaging, the goal is to make them feel connected to the brand or to you. So helping them kind of feel like, okay, so I know Eileen will talk about this in the community highlights, or I know that came up, or that kind of thing. So things like that. Promotional, so the goal is to make them feel like this has monetary value or that they can save money. So that's a great thing to put in, like a Starbucks gift card at the end, and or if you work with local businesses, hey, I know you work with a professional organizer, so if you want to talk about her, you can say, okay, like anybody who signs up with her for my newsletter gets 15% off, or things like that. So you'd want to work that out with her, but that's a great way to promote both of your businesses, while also adding value, like, hey, there's a 15% off discount. If you reach
Yeah.
out to her, just say you're from my newsletter.
It's a good idea.
I think that'd be great for you. That'd be really good. Any questions about any of this or any ideas?
Now I'm just, I'm thinking about topics, so.
Totally. I love it. Awesome. Moving on. So success. So how do you know if your newsletter has been successful? So that kind of comes from you need to determine your goal before you even start it. So what do you want this newsletter to do? Is it to increase brand awareness, boost sales, foster community engagement? It could be a combo, but you do need to have one specific kind of metric. Okay, is this boosting sales? Based off of, am I getting in front of more people? Am I setting more appointments? Am I closing more deals? Did I meet them because they were on my newsletter for that 36 touch?
Yeah.
Just kind of like evaluating, and kind of that way, once you know what your goal is, you know how to track it so you can later determine if it was successful. So just kind of thinking about that, and kind of setting, okay, this is how I know it's successful. How do I get there? And you also want to make sure your newsletter has that call to action. We've talked about call to action on social media. Same thing here. So reach out to me if you have questions. Sign up for this homebuyer seminar in order to learn about the first process of lending and things like that. So you can market like office events in your newsletter. That would be great. And that's a great call to action. Hey, here's how you RSVP for this great event. Things like that. And you can always say, follow me on Instagram. That's the call to action. And that's also connecting them with the brand, the community. It's making them take one step further. And that way, they're going to feel more connected to you. And then this, you can kind of reverse that, right? So on Instagram, say, click the link in my bio to sign up for my newsletter. Perfect. That's a nice post for your story. They can sign up there. So that way you're getting a lot of cross engagement, which continues to build trust. It will build your social media algorithm because people are clicking and things like that. So it's just a really great thing to have them go on to. And that's a great call to action there at the end of the newsletter.
Good idea.
So awesome. Cool, cool. All right, moving on. So here's some just different content ideas. So one thing, so include a video. I know video is everywhere and it's going to continue to be everywhere. Research shows that there's a 300% increase in open rate when you have a video. Even if that's just video in the subject line. So includes highlight video in the subject line. Like has made people open the newsletter more than here's my newsletter. So gotta have a video. Everyone's favorite thing to do. Another really cool thing will be a local highlight. So you could totally hit on dog parts, right? Parks, dog shops, dog products. So if you're like, hey, my dog really likes this brush, or this brush works really well for getting hair. Perfect. Awesome. Do something like that. Local highlights, a new coffee shop, things like that, that are happening that are local. So not the first thing that comes up on Google. It's more like the hidden gems of the area. You can also do my monthly update. So anything you feel comfy about talking about that happened in your life. So I just spilled my coffee on my white rug. This is how I got the stain out, and just things like that. Just like random things that help display your personality so people get to know you a little bit more. You can always do closings this month with a client testimonial, just so it's not like, hey, I closed this. It's more like, with this closed, congratulations for my clients. This is what they said about working with me. And that would be great. And then you could always do a Columbus, Ohio real estate market update. And this is a great thing to get from Rachel, those slides that Rachel does every month in the office meeting. Those are available in the broker library on the hub. So you can go and click through and either take screenshots or just kind of take the information and present it how you want. But that would be a great thing.
Because I do that one update too, but I guess I need to look at hers.
Yeah, yep, you absolutely could. Yep, just an option, but that is on the broker library on the hub.
Okay.
Yep. And then events list, so things coming up. That's it's similar to the local highlight, but more for like seasonal events. So farmers markets, summer festivals, and things like that.
All the farmers markets open this weekend.
Oh yeah, they're popping out. Those
Yeah,
are so fun. Those are a good time.
and the arts festivals and all that stuff.
I'm so excited. I love the art festival every year. It's really cool.
Have you been to the one in Worthington?
Mm-mm.
It's
No, I haven't.
really
I've
good.
just been to the one downtown.
The one in Worthington, I think, in many ways is comparable to the one downtown. It's smaller, more easy to, it's on the green.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Um,
just down the street from the office, right?
yeah, really close. Yeah, the Village Green in Old Worthington
Okay. Mm-hmm.
is where it is. It's the same area where the farmers market is
Okay.
generally, but they've got great vendors. I've gotten some fabulous things there. So,
Yeah. That's so fun. I'll have to check it out because I've only been to the one downtown.
yeah, I think it's the 14th and 15th of June.
Okay. I think that's the weekend right after the downtown ones. That makes sense.
Yeah, downtown is usually like one of the first weekends in June.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that'll be really fun. Um, and then so now we're just we've talked about kind of the metrics and content ideas and all of that. So how can we build this out in Command? I will show you that this part I know. So first I did want to show, so I created one just for example here. So I made this through Command Designs. So this is kind of what I came up with. So it has our logo, all that kind of stuff. So welcome to my newsletter family. So see the free link below to my latest tech class recording so you never miss out on a new tech training. The past week, we covered a condensed version of the Rachel Adams Lee social media queen's approach to managing her online success and how she built it. I've also plugged all of the events we have going on in the Market Center and how you can get involved. This month is a blood drive. There's still time slots available, so check that out and see if you have time to donate. I also love sharing events happening in Columbus and around Columbus. As a newbie to Columbus, I try and take advantage of all the events, festivals, concerts, art openings, and new local shops and gems that I find. And then my monthly neighborhood highlight is on Worthington Highlands this month. Be sure to check out those stats. Thanks for being here. So that's kind of my opening couple of lines. I didn't count this, so I'm not exactly sure how many words or whatever this is, but short, sweet, to the point, talking
Yeah.
about what I'm going to show you. And then here, so I've added my video. So watch my free class. So you can click here and it'll take you over to YouTube and over to that past class. And then watch my free class. And then I do have this kind of a divider just so to help split it up a little bit so everything looks a little bit different. So Market Center events, the blood drive, talking about the dates as well. We're hosting a blood drive. Stop by and help us reach our goal of 37 units. That could save 81 lives. Specific time to skip the line. See you there. And then they can register here. And this is a button I've added from Designs and just link to their sign up page.
Okay, cool. Hey, Boyd, what are you doing? He's eating dirt out of a pot.
Oh, geez.
Gotta love it.
Yep, absolutely.
I had to haul everything and off my deck because power washers are coming to prep the building before painting.
Oh, gotcha. Yep, that makes sense.
So
I
I
thought
have,
you were gonna say from the storm yesterday.
pardon?
I thought you were gonna say from the storm yesterday.
Oh, no, thankfully I got it in before that storm. So it's
Good.
not
Yeah,
dripping
that was
anymore.
crazy.
I
Um,
was driving back from Granville and oh my God, I almost had to pull over. It was really raining hard for just a few minutes and then it kind of cleared up, but
yeah, I thought that was weird. And then just another section is local happenings. So that just talked about our Shred It Day, all the info there. Talking a little bit more about that. Neighborhood highlight. So this is actually like a block text from in email design. So I just dropped this in here and it did all of this work. So active listings, 3 pendings, days on market, things like that. And then that wraps up this month's newsletter. Thank you for reading to the bottom. as a special thank you, I've partnered with Starbucks to sponsor a $50 gift card for anyone who's read this far. Sign in to the drawing below, and I will reach out to you personally if you are the winner on Saturday, May 3rd. Cannot wait to connect with you. So then click here to win. And then this, I just went through a Google form, and these are free. So you can just put your name, email, phone, and then you could collect everyone who signs up, put them in a little name spinner, and then choose the winner there at the end. So what do you think about this? I mean, I know you know a lot about a lot of all of these events and things like that, but it's just kind of talking about what I have going on, different things you can
No,
do.
I think that's good, for where do you get, so, we'll come to it, this neighborhood highlight, because I would love to do something like that, but,
Totally.
like, how, I sell a lot of condos, so do something on, condos in Worthington or whatever, and I could plot them on a map and then give the stats or something.
Yeah, you totally could. You might have to look on the MLS, and you might not be able to use this feature for that just because I don't think you can narrow down on like condos.
Okay,
But you could totally look on the MLS and kind of make your own. This is just like an option available in Command.
okay,
So let me go to Command and show you kind of how I got started. So I'm here in Command. I'm going to go to Designs. And I want to create a design. I want to do an email. So next. And I'm going to create a new template. And you'll name this May newsletter. Perfect. And then how I got kind of my info up here is I used, move this over, the legal header function
okay,
under content. Just drag and drop that over there. And then I recommend you start with that video. So I've got the header over here, so I'm gonna pull the video block over. And then here, I do recommend you pull the video from YouTube. I believe it can be that Vimeo as well, but I just had better luck, or I think it works smoother with YouTube. So,
what other did you mention?
Vimeo. I don't think I say it right. Vimeo.
Oh, Vimeo. Yeah,
Vimeo.
Vimeo, yeah.
Yes, that's the one. So you can use that as well, because I know a lot of they do listing videos and stuff through that, so you could do that as well. Here, so now just to do, I'll do that video again. So you would just go to YouTube, go to the video, grab the URL, go to designs, put the URL in here, and now a picture will not automatically generate here to be
Okay,
kind of the cover photo. So what I recommend, and since this was a video over one of my tech trainings that was over a slide, I did have a picture of that slide, so I just went into Canva and put the little YouTube button over it, and then uploaded it to here. So this
okay.
is a picture, like it's not a live YouTube button, it's just a picture that makes it look like, okay, this is a video.
So then if it's just a picture, how do they click and,
So this picture is technically linked, so in my newsletter, you can click the video to go there.
okay,
But I also have a watch my free class here. So I've just linked it twice. It's the same thing.
okay.
But yeah. So that's just kind of what I did. But this, you can click on this.
So how would I do this button?
So I went to, let's see, it was over this one.
Oh, it was in Canva?
I
Okay,
used Canva for it. So I just went in here. I went to elements that I just searched for the YouTube button and then grabbed it, put it on here, downloaded this as a PNG. and then you upload it.
Okay. And that's linked to the video.
Mm-hmm.
How?
That's linked to the video through here.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. I missed that little part of the video thing.
Gotcha. Yep. You'll put that link in there, and that way when they click on it, it goes to that link.
Okay.
And then kind of how I did this little button here, so watch my free class, is you'll go to the button kind of template block.
Okay.
You'll drag that over. Here's where you change the text. And then watch my free tech class. Again, you'll want to link to a web address because I'm just going to link to that same YouTube video. Paste it in there. And then we can change this color. And then you can change the fonts and all that kind of stuff in here as well.
Okay.
And so, oh, I think I missed like the text up here, but that's okay. So you can just grab that text box, and then you want to go to that green line just so it goes where you want to place it on your newsletter. Drop it in there. And I do recommend doing a nice like welcome to my newsletter and make this catchy. Like definitely spend some time crafting it to, you know, speaking your tone and kind of convey the how you would want to say it or convey your energy and things like that. Something about this month. But I'm excited. Oops. Share it with you. Not evicted. Excited. There we go. And then this is kind of where you can do that nice little opener, like this part.
Okay.
And you don't have to do, this is yours, right? So this is just what I came up with. And I thought had a nice flow. So if you don't like anything, you can totally change it. Go save. And then let's put in that divider. So the divider is going to be like this little head section right here. So this little gray line,
That
and then you
line.
put a text
Okay.
box in here. I just think that helps break it up a little bit. Go in here. And this divider is going to be under that layout section. So I'm just going to grab that. Perfect. And then I kind of want another title right here. So my free tech class, I'm going to make this bigger. It's more of a header. Perfect. So now we kind of have the video section built out and ready to go. Next, let's do that kind of market snap that I was talking about. So that was that Worthington Hills part of it.
Yeah.
So to grab that, you're going to go in that contact section under the market snap. I'm going to pull that over. And now here you kind of search by postal code. So 43085, and then you can select a neighborhood within that postal code.
Okay.
So let's do David Estates. That's not a great one just because it's not pulling info over. Now you can edit this, but let's do something else. Okay, perfect.
How come it pulled info for one area but not the other?
It's kind of focusing on, so what happened within this blue square or this blue highlighted.
Yeah, but the last neighborhood you picked, it didn't pull in any data.
Yeah, because I don't think anything within that little blue square changed.
Ah, okay. There has
Mhm.
to be activity for it to, okay, got it.
Exactly.
Makes
Yep.
sense. Right.
So neighborhood trends. Next, so if you're having an event, I like the event block um
Okay.
feature. So drag that in there. And then here you would add an image. So place. I'm gonna put in that blood drive again. So be a hero. This is a graphic I created in Canva. Um, and added through this add image option. You would just drag and drop. Here we go. And now we're gonna fix this. So April 30th. Um, um, Perfect. So I'm going to save that bar. Blood dry. And here we talk about it. In our goal. Just a nice little explaining section. And then here's another button. So we're going to do the same thing in link. Let me go to here. I would just go to their website.
Mhm. Oh, and get the link to the sign up page. Okay.
Exactly. Go here. And I would say register here. And then it's going to link to, so we're going to link to a web address. We'll put it in there. And save and close. Awesome. And then if you have a listing, you can always do a listing block
Okay.
and drop it in there. And you'll do like the cover photo, the address, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. One of
And
these
then
days I'll have a listing again.
do what?
I said, one of these days I'll have a listing again.
Yes, you will. It's right around the corner. Um, oh, and I don't think I added a divider here. So I'm gonna drop that in, no worries. Here we go. And then text, Columbus. Highlight. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger again, 24. You can bold it. Save. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. So I didn't add a divider, so I'm gonna add that in here. Say save, add the text. Community events. Again, make that bigger, bold. Oops. Highlight it, make it bigger and bold. There we go. Awesome. And then to do kind of your last call to action. So add in another text box and say, I kind of think it's cute when people say, if you've read this far, if you've made it this far, here's a treat.
Yeah,
Like, I think that's a cute, I think it's cute.
I thought that was clever. Yeah.
Yeah. You are my people, and I appreciate you to show that I am offering 15% off of professional organizing service through like company name here.
The disarray doctor is my friend. I love the name.
Exactly.
I love the name of her company.
Wait, what is it again?
The disarray doctor.
Oh, I love it. If you schedule with her, Obviously, you can see I'm great at spelling. Let's see.
At least it has a spell check feature.
Exactly. We're just making sure that works. So,
I
perfect.
wish the MLS did when you're entering in listings.
Yeah, because they don't.
They don't. You have
And
to
the little
really, really detailed
descriptions
proofread.
don't either. So I'm like, that's tough. And then always do a button, and you can set kind of that whole feature up. I recommend Google Forms. I feel like that's going to be the easiest and most accessible. Um, so just putting it in there. So click here. Or I guess for this instance, you would put her contact info. So,
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah.
so not that. We'll just do another text box, and you can say this. And then they can reach out. You just throw that contact information at the bottom.
Yeah.
And save. And then I recommend closing it out with that legal footer. I think it's just a nice way to um end it, close it, make it look professional.
What goes in that footer? I can't remember.
So that will be our Market Center logo, Market Center information, and then again, your first and last name,
Okay.
phone number, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna hit the preview button just so we can kind of see what it's looking like. So, just so you know, the links in the preview will not work. You will have to, like, I recommend sending it to yourself first and making sure they all work, and then putting it on a smart plan and sending it out to everyone. So this is kind of what it looks like. So pre-tech class, Columbus highlight, community events, all that kind of stuff.
So you said put it on a smart plan.
Do you want to see how to do that?
Yeah, because I went through and tagged all the people, like the people in my database I wanted to get that one market newsletter. But I never sent it out, but sorry, just things happened. But I want to. Is that how I would send it out? Would be through a smart plan?
Yeah, I would recommend.
Okay.
Perfect. So to do that, I'm going to save and close this design. Save and close. And then I see it here, so May newsletter. I guess I have two of them, but we'll do this one. And then I'm going to go to Smart Plans. You will create a new one. May newsletter. Create plan. And then the only task you're going to put in here is send an email. Click and drag to your little task or your little content bar thing. I guess I shouldn't say thing. Contact bar history, maybe. And then you can put the subject. So this is a subject that your clients will see. So definitely spend some time like workshopping with that, and kind of how you want them to come to know your newsletter. So newsletter. And then we're going to click designs. We're going to select a design. That May newsletter, so the one we just
Okay. Ashley?